Alrighty. I would like to call the Budget Oversight Committee meeting to order for September 9th, 2025. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Allen,
Present.
Vice Chair Uranga,
Presente.
Chair Rixodi.
I am here.
We have a quorum.
Lovely. Clerk, would you read the first item, please?
Item 1 is a recommendation to approve the minutes for the Budget Oversight Committee meeting of Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025.
What happened here?
Is it not working? Oh, you know what? They don't have you set up.
We just need a second.
Give me 1 second.
Ilang minit na tamari. Here
we go. Today, right? No, that's
No, last week.
That's last week.
It good. Should be that one.
There we go.
Okay.
For some reason, that's
Pull it up.
And we
Aye.
can take a verbal if you like, Vice Mayor. Okay.
Aye.
Second, Vice Mayor, receive, thank you.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any comments from my committee members? All right, I'm gonna move to public comment. If there's any members of the public who wish to speak in this item, please stand and form a line so we can determine how many speakers will be participating. Once this number is established, no additional public comment will be heard for this item. Just for item 1, for the minutes?
This is for the minutes.
Anyone want to make public comment on the minutes? Okay. Seeing none, we can go ahead and vote to receive and file.
Motion carries.
Fantastic. Next item.
Item 2 is a recommendation to receive and file a list of follow-up items from the budget hearings and/or Budget Oversight Committee meetings. And we just need a second.
Okay, I see a
There we
first and
go.
a second. Were there follow-up items from the previous meeting?
Yes, there was just a TFF provided to the City Council and to the Budget Oversight Committee on some questions at the August 26th BOC meeting, including some questions about the Justice Fund, LBUSD's Safe Passage sites, a breakdown of violence prevention funding, and that's it.
Wonderful, thank you for that. Any comments from my committee colleagues? All right, seeing none, again, we will move to public comment for item number 2, and this is related to follow-up items from the budget hearings. If there are any members of the public who wish to speak on item number 2, please stand and form a line so we can determine how many speakers will be participating. Once this number is established, no additional public comment will be heard for this item. And I see, looks like 4, 5. You all could line up, I'd really appreciate it, just so I know. Okay, it looks like 5, so I'm gonna close the line, and please, first speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. I am here on behalf of the community to advocate for our libraries. I currently serve as Vice President of Public Affairs for the Long Beach Public Library Foundation. As we realize the city budget is tight, our asks are modest. We are requesting free 4-hour parking for library patrons. Make visiting the library accessible to all by securing free parking at the Broadway Garage. We are just asking for what you do for people shopping at the City Place and free parking you provide for those who attend the City Council meetings. As you do not want a barrier to those who want to attend council meetings, we ask you provide the same opportunity for those who would like to use our main library. Measure A was sold to the citizens of Long Beach mostly as a way to fix our infrastructure, and fixing our libraries was part of it. It is critical that we keep faith with our voters. It's my understanding that you're not allocating Measure A money at this time, so our short-term request is that you direct Public Works to work with library staff to assess the needs of our 10 oldest libraries for repair, refurbishment, and modernization. We'll then be prepared to see how to fund those needs. Now, we used our libraries to sell Measure A to the voters, so let's keep faith with our voters and look at the needs of our library. Now, once that assessment is done, if it's Measure A money that is used or it's some other means, that we have other opportunities, but we really must ensure that our libraries remain safe, welcoming, and modern by investing in much-needed upgrades and renovations, excuse me. Again, this is what we told our voters we would do with Measure A money. And last but not least, we appreciate very much your support for safety at our libraries. Our libraries need to be welcoming and safe. Every time a parent says to me, I wanted to take my children to the main library, but I was afraid, that just breaks my heart, and I would think yours as well. So we ask you to continue to protect our library staff and patrons by security at all our branches. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. I am here on behalf of 1736 Family Crisis Center. I am writing to respectfully request your urgent support regarding the continuation of a vital youth program in Long Beach that is set to close on September 30th due to lack of city funding. This program has provided essential mental health services, coping skills, case management, and substance use prevention to youth and their families across 5 schools, as well as throughout the community. Through in-school supports, family engagement, a youth advisory committee, and board outreach, we have successfully connected with more than 1,000 individuals over the past year alone. As you are aware, Long Beach youth face significant challenges related to mental health and substance use. City health statistics show troubling increasing in hospitalizations among youth in both overdose and mental health crises. So our program, in conjunction with the Long Beach Health Department, was designed specifically to address these urgent needs, providing early intervention and prevention resources that protect young people from harm and help them build resilience. So the elimination of this program places hundreds of vulnerable youth at a greater risk at a time when they most need our support. We are deeply concerned that without these services, many children and families will lose access to life-saving resources. We respectfully urge you to recommend the continuation of this program within the city priorities, support funding allocations or partnerships to sustain youth mental health and prevention services. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and council members. My name is Veronica Garcia Davalos. I am a resident of Long Beach, a mom and a grandmother of children who are also residents, and the CEO of the Long Beach Public Library Foundation, representing 17,000 supporters who are also patrons of the library. First, I want to support protecting the library's operating budget and investing in our cultural affairs division. I think that's important. And I also want to say that I know it's challenging to balance the budget. I know it's very difficult, and I appreciate your leadership on this front. But I want to remind all of us that when Measure A was passed, as our other speaker mentioned, the libraries were promised to be a priority. Voters were told that those dollars would modernize the very spaces our families rely on. And that was mentioned in this flyer that was used to pass Measure A. We used to invest in our city libraries. And so I just wanted to say that 9 of our 12 libraries haven't been remodeled since 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Families are walking into buildings that no longer reflect the Long Beach that are buildings everywhere else, that, like all of our other buildings. And that's why we are asking you to engage Public Works this year to assess all 10 neighborhood libraries, including Bayshore. Dedicate at least $5 million annually from Measure A, with increases over time to repair, refurbish, and modernize every single branch. In addition, we're asking for 4 hours of free parking for patrons at Billie Jean King Main Library without reducing the library's budget, and for safety to remain a priority at every branch location. Libraries are not only public places where libraries are the only place where public space where children, families, seniors can learn, connect, and thrive. And on behalf of the tens of thousands of residents, I urge you to act now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Denise. I'm community organizer with Orale. I just wanted to share my support for the BOC's recommendation of $130K towards the Long Beach Justice Fund, but I also still wanted to continue advocating for our $2.2 million, and I thank this committee for what you are allocating and how you're trying to find space for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Laura Mozo, soy residente del Distrito 6 y estoy aquí en apoyo a Orale. Como madre de familia y miembros de esta comunidad, estoy profundamente preocupada por lo que estamos viviendo. No es justo tanto sufrimiento y desequilibrio que enfrentamos nuestras familias a causa de estos cambios de políticas. Por eso hoy venimos a pedir una respuesta clara y concreta de $2.2 millones para la justicia legal, 2 millones para la defensa contra de los desalojos y 400,000 para los fideicomisos de tierras comunitarias en Long Beach. Estos no son cifras sin sentido, son inversiones urgentes y necesarias para proteger la estabilidad y el bienestar de nuestras familias. Le pedimos que consideren seriamente esta decisión porque no podemos seguir viviendo en esta situación sin ayuda de tanta que necesitamos. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon. My name is Laura Mozo. I'm resident of District 6, and today I'm here supporting Orale. I am a mother of a family and member of this community, and I'm profoundly worried about the state that we are living in. It's not just that there is so much suffering and so much destabilizing that's confronting our families, and the cause for this is the change in politics that we're seeing. That's why today I am here to ask for something clear and concrete. That is $2.2 million for the Long Beach Justice Fund, $2 million for Defense Against Evictions, and $400,000 for the Community Land Trust of Long Beach. These are not asked without any sense. They are strong investments that are urgent and necessary to protect the stability and well-being of our families. We ask that you consider seriously these decisions because we cannot keep living without these in this situation, since without there being, without the help that we really need. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the public comment. We can go ahead and vote to receive and file.
Motion carries.
All right, next item.
Item 3 is a recommendation to forward the Budget Oversight Committee's fiscal year FY26 budget recommendations for council consideration.
Lovely. Well, here's the grand event, right? So a couple of comments I just wanted to make before I read the BOC recommendations, and that is, over the course of this budget cycle, the City of Long Beach is engaged in 2 distinct phases of outreach. From the early community engagement meetings in January and February to the most recent community budget meetings in August, residents across the city shared their input in how tax dollars should be spent. I want to thank every resident who participated in meetings through the digital comment cards to make your priorities known. In the first phase, residents identified housing and homelessness, education, and public safety as the top 3 strategic vision themes. In April, the mayor and city council reaffirmed our top priorities for the next 2 years that included homelessness and housing, economic development, and public safety, with a focus on building staffing capacity and fiscal sustainability. During the second phase of outreach in August, residents reinforced those same priorities. Public safety and housing and homelessness remain concerns, joined by calls for greater investment in mobility and placemaking, and parks and mental health. These community priorities directly align with the direction set by the mayor and city council, showing a clear and consistent vision for the future of Long Beach. Despite the real challenges we've continued to face, from fiscal constraints to staffing needs and a looming deficit, this budget remains a true reflection of both the City Council's top priorities and priorities voiced by our community members, focused on keeping neighborhoods safe and clean, expanding housing opportunities, caring for those experiencing homelessness, supporting young people, and investing in healthier and more sustainable communities. I want to especially acknowledge and thank the dedicated city staff who have worked tirelessly through this process in support of the work of the Budget Oversight Committee. That include the city clerk's office, financial management department, the city attorney's office, as well as my committee colleagues. I want to thank them for their thoughtful and engaging comments throughout this process. With that, I would like to present my Budget Oversight Committee recommendations as the chair of this body. Please bear with me. As you all know, there were a number of requests reviewed during this year's budget cycle, so this list is long. So the first motion will be a motion to support Mayor Richardson's proposed budget recommendations. The second is motion to support the Budget Oversight Committee's proposed budget recommendations.
Before you move on, Chair, question, I guess, for either the city clerk or the attorney. Do we have to make individual motions, or as you read, or we can just do one motion?
It will be one motion.
One motion? Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, here we go. Motion to support the Budget Oversight Committee's proposed budget recommendations and changes to the mayor's budget recommendations and appropriate the following one-time enhancements to provide policy direction. First, motion to request the city manager to immediately identify solutions as the top priority to further enhance paramedic rescue response capabilities in addition to the structural funding identified for Peak Load Rescue 2 on a 12-hour, 7-day week schedule proposed in the city manager's budget, and for those enhancements to begin in fiscal year 26 budget year and return to city council with the funding sources and implementation plan. Second, motion to request the city manager to work with Health and Human Services Department to identify one-time funds of $318,187 within the Health Fund group for 2 positions, 1 Public Health Nurse 2 and 1 Health Educator 2 in the Black Infant Health Program to provide bridge funding until July 1st, 2026, at which point the city anticipates receiving grant funds that will fully cover the staff. 3, motion to request the city manager to reserve unspent funds for the Dia de los Muertos parade, which will not be held fiscal year 26, and carry funds over into fiscal year 27 to be utilized for the 2027, one correction, that should say 2027, Dia de los Muertos event, which will bring the total funding available in fiscal year 27 to $100,000. Motion to keep the current cultivation cannabis tax at $13.09 through October 1st, 2026. The cultivation tax rate is subject to an automatic increase on October 1st, 2025 per the Consumer Price Index calculator without city council direction. 5, motion to request a one-time revision to the current council district priority funding fiscal policy related to special events and filming, fundraising efforts for fiscal year 26. Council officers shall be responsible for completing the special events council event form, including obtaining the required signature. On this form, the council office must provide special events and filming with the event budget and the anticipated amount to be raised through sponsorships to be able to proceed, but a specific council letter or approved project list fund transfer committing district priority funds shall no longer be required prior to event arrangements. However, if the sponsorship goal is not met, the council office will be responsible for covering the remaining balance either from future divide by 9, operating budget, or any other solution. 6, motion to request the city manager to reserve savings identified in the Tidelands Operating Fund Group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department, estimated in the amount of $185,000 by fiscal year 25 year end, and carried forward to fiscal year 26 to support 10 municipal band events in the Tidelands area, fully funding the municipal band for fiscal year 26, along with already received sponsorships, with a commitment to dedicated fundraising efforts from council members and municipal band supporters to support funding gaps for all foreseeable future seasons beyond fiscal year 26, and align future events to account for funds secured, which may be at a reduced level if fundraising is not successful. 7, motion to revise the previously approved Marina Vista Park pickleball design and permitting funding of $100,000 from Tideland's operating fund group to allow the funds to create one dedicated pickleball court and one dual-striped tennis pickleball court in Marina Vista Park, with the remaining amount to continue to be available for design and permitting for additional new facilities. 8. Motion to request the city manager to work with the Health and Human Services Department to continue to prioritize funding available from the opioids settlement proceeds to distribute fentanyl detection kits as detailed in the May 21st, 2025 memo to the City Council, and return to City Council to appropriate funds identified if necessary. 9. Motion to request the city manager to work with Economic Development and Opportunity Department to prioritize bid funding support available through the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to install year-round cameras and lighting to improve public safety in the Zaffaria Business Association bid, if in alignment with overall fiscal priorities of the bid's use of funds. 10. Motion to request the city manager to work with Economic Development and Opportunity Department to prioritize bid funding support available through the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to enhance 4th Street Farmers Market programming and outreach if it is in alignment with the overall fiscal priorities of the 4th Street Business Improvement Association's use of funds. 11. Motion to add one-time funds of $50,000 in the Capital Projects Fund Group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department offset by unallocated park impact fees to explore the skate park feasibility study to evaluate site conditions, environmental and community impacts, design options, and cost estimates. 12. Motion to add one-time funds of $25,000 in the Capital Funds Group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department, offset by unallocated park impact fees for focused revisioning and community engagement over the long-term restoration and public access enhancements at Willow Spring Park, which will further open space restoration, public access improvements, and long-term ecologic investment at Willow Springs Park. 13. Motion to request the city manager to work with the Long Beach Airport Department to continue the subsidized aviation fuel for the environment program. City Council authorized $60,000 for the supplemental type certificate reimbursement program and $200,000 for the unleaded AV gas subsidy program. To date, the program has obligated over $5,000 in supplemental type certificate reimbursements and over $25,000 in subsidies. Both programs sunset at the end of this year, and City Council action is required to extend them. 14. Motion to reallocate $47,500 from the Grow Long Beach Loans Program line item for Central Long Beach and $25,000 from the Cambodian Economic Impact Study in the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to fund the feasibility and implementation of the Micro-Entrepreneur and Vending Economic Opportunity Program as outlined in the February 26, 2025 memo responding to City Council direction on this item. 15. Motion to add, quote-unquote, and activations, so that verbiage, to the description of the central area in the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan for corridor improvements. Motion to recommend that the Business Support Office program funding in the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan to focus its efforts on expanding economic opportunities for micro-entrepreneurs, including sidewalk vending, and expanding programming and resources that will further assist micro-entrepreneurs as discussed in the February 26, 2025 memo. 17. Motion to allocate $50,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan for the advertisement district program line item to conduct a high-level feasibility study of the cost of refurbishing and upgrading the historic district of Wilmore City lamp post lighting. 18. Motion to reallocate $200,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan towards piloting a temporary deployment of private security services within the designated dining and entertainment zone. Specifically, $100,000 from the Downtown Activation and Events Program line item and $100,000 from the Downtown Advertising District Program line item. 19. Motion to reallocate $47,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan from the Grow Long Beach Loans Program line item for assessment funding to begin design and interim improvements for the Promenade Square Park Fountain. 20. Motion to support the use of movies in the park and the downtown area as a priority for the downtown activations and events made available through the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan. 21. Motion to reallocate $50,000 within the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan for the market study implementation program line item for street safety improvements on Santa Fe Avenue and connecting streets near 23rd Street and Santa Fe, including but not limited to crosswalk repainting, permanent speed feedback signage, improved lighting, and other traffic calming measures recommended by the city traffic engineer. 22. Motion to structurally add an assistant administrative analyst position to improve the timeliness of the administration and expenditure of the Justice Fund dollars in the city manager's office using the structural dollars currently set aside for the Justice Fund as the structural offset. In order to not affect the current recommended funding for the Justice Fund efforts in the proposed budget, add $130,000 in one-time funds in the general fund group in the city manager department for the Justice Fund, offset by one-time reduction in the amount of $130,000 in the general fund group in the park, recreation, and marine department to recognize savings due to the timing of animal care staffing implementation as a result of the delayed legal proceedings with SBCLA lease termination in the proposed fiscal year 26 budget. This additional $130,000 brings the total investment noted in the fiscal year 26 mayor's budget recommendation to $2.63 million towards supporting the needs of Long Beach's diverse immigrant communities. This $263 million in investment into the Justice Fund and our immigrant communities will now include dedicated staffing, legal support, cash assistance, know your rights training for businesses, and tariff relief. Number 23. Motion to request the city manager prioritize available operating funds in fiscal year 26 funding to procure new signage at the Billie Jean King Main Library to inform the public of trespassing ordinances and return to the city council if existing operating budget cannot complete the project. 24. Motion to request the city manager to enhance communication and promotion of existing services to provide subsidized parking for Billie Jean King Main Library patrons, which currently is at more than 80% subsidy for the first 3 hours. 25. Motion to request the city manager to work with Public Works Department to create an infrastructure investment plan that assesses all Long Beach public libraries that can inform the upcoming update to the 5-year infrastructure plan. Number 26. Motion to add one-time funds in the amount of $160,000 to support the Safe Passage program in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department, offset by one-time reduction in the amount of $160,000 in the general fund group in the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department to recognize savings due to the timing of animal care staffing implementation as a result of delayed legal proceedings with the SBCLA lease termination in the proposed fiscal year 26 budget. 27. Motion to reallocate one-time funding of $25,000 for the Long Beach Area Veterans Commission in the mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations to support the Veterans Banner Program in the general fund group in the Health and Human Services Department as requested by the Veterans Commission. 28. Motion to add one-time funding of $103,000 for the micro grant program in the general fund group in the Community Development Department, offset by reallocating $103,000 from the $133,000 from the mayor's fiscal year 26 budget block parties neighborhood activities, $20,000 from the Grow Long Beach loans allocation as part of the successor agency sale proceeds, and $83,000 of fiscal year 25 anticipated carryover, leaving $30,000 for the summer block parties and neighborhood activations. That was a long sentence. 29. Motion to request the city manager to work with Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department to prioritize available operating or capital dollars in the fiscal year 26 funding to repair the HVAC system at the Nature Center and return to the city council if additional funds are needed. 30. Motion to establish requirements surrounding the $200,000 allocation towards community land trust as part of the mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations as a result of recognizing the importance of new ways of delivering affordable housing and the work of the land trust to date, while also protecting city resources and assuring accountability. The disbursement of the $200,000 is contingent on substantial progress towards acquiring real property for the land trust to administer. This progress could include the acquisition, acceptance, bid, offer, RFP responses to a property acquisition, and/or evidence of matching funds raised as the land trust demonstrates grants, donations, or other funding from the sources other than the city. 31. Motion to reallocate up to $300,000 from the County Measure A category of flexible housing prevention and rental assistance in the mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations to the Tenant Right to Counsel program to account for the potential reduced carryover amount now projected to range between $0 to $150,000 instead of $440,000 as previously estimated for the Tenant Right to Counsel, to ensure $1.5 million is available for the Tenant Right to Counsel program. This full reallocation will be based on a final accounting of actual carryover from LA County for the Tenant Right to Counsel program. 32. Motion to request the city manager to expressly allow a minimum of $250,000 and up to $500,000 in settlement assistance funding as an allowable use under the County Measure A category of homelessness prevention and rental assistance in the mayor's fiscal year 26 budget recommendations. Additionally, provide the BOC a report in January 2026 regarding the status of these programs. 33. Motion to direct the city manager to evaluate complete a cost analysis of the Hoops After Dark program within Parks, Recreation, and Marine Department beginning in fiscal year 26, as it is funded as part of the mayor's recommendations on a one-time basis, to explore looking to host the program in-house in fiscal year 27 and beyond. 34. Motion to request the Port of Long Beach to contribute one-time funding of $50,000 from the Harbor Fund Group to match the fiscal year 26 budget's one-time funding of $50,000 in the Special Events and Promotions Fund Group, providing a total of $100,000 to fund the Long Beach Pride Parade. Of this amount, the city's $50,000 allocation was recommended to be made structural as part of the fiscal year 26 mayor's recommendations. 35. Motion to request the city manager to work with staff to include West Long Beach as part of the proposed fiscal year 26 budget one-time Assembly Bill 32 funding of $100,000 to support urban forestry tree plantings in priority areas of extreme heat areas and to prioritize Bixby Knolls, California Heights, Lakewood Village, and south of Connet to be included in pre-existing unspent funds already allocated to tree planting. 36. Motion to request $50,000 from the former redevelopment agency sale proceeds plan for the public realm line item to support a match for other funding sources to improve the public realm in Gumbiner Park and allow the park to be secured at night. 37. Motion to reallocate one-time funding of $200,000 currently appropriated in the Tidelands Operating Fund Group in the Public Works Department for homeless response to the City Auditor's Department to complete an audit of the Tidelands Fund. 38. Motion to request the city manager to prioritize strengthening the city's general fund group operating reserves and contingency funds to protect core public services and fiscal resilience in the face of potential federal funding reductions and other potential pressures on the city budget. 39. Motion to adopt the updated RDA table reflective of both the mayor's recommendations and the BOC recommendations for a total of $8.7 million in general fund group across various departments in attachment number 1. 40. Motion to establish a May 15th, 2025 deadline for Budget Oversight Committee members to submit recommendations regarding BOC agenda topics, with the exception of urgent, unforeseen matters that may arise and need to be added to the agenda at a later time. 41. Motion to require community budget meeting feedback results be provided to the Budget Oversight Committee and City Council no later than 2 weeks before the proposed budget adoption date. 42. Motion for a city manager to to return with 3 alternative residential street allocation formulas separate from the current and previously used models as laid out in the quantitative analysis provided by Public Works, with the goal of providing a more equitable distribution of baseline street investment citywide while targeting documented pavement deficiencies and higher density areas and traffic volume. 43. Motion for community budget survey responses to be disaggregated by council districts in reports. 44. Motion to set the deadline for city council budget requests as the second to last BOC meeting, ensuring adequate time to develop final recommendations for city council. 45. Motion to acknowledge that requests for funding from council districts of various programs have been received and reviewed. At this time, due to the absence of identified funding solutions, these requests cannot be recommended to be incorporated into the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget. These programs listed below remain on file for future considerations, pending availability of resources or alternative funding mechanisms. This motion serves to recognize the value of these initiatives while maintaining fiscal responsibility and transparency in the budget process. Number 1, Carroll Park requests for repurposed concrete streets to preserve original character. 2, programming in Bixby, activate parks through expanded programming. 3, the Cambodian Senior Meal Program. 4, feasibility of concrete neighborhood street repairs in Cal Heights Historic District. 5, Wrigley neighborhood banner signage along Pacific Avenue and Willow Street. 6, expansion of the municipal band in the downtown dining and entertainment zone. As this program is currently not able to sustain funding for its current structure, it is not recommended to expand until the program addresses its budget shortfall first. 7, Care Closet Long Beach LBC cleanup efforts along Pacific Avenue in the West Side Industrial Area. The fiscal year 26 budget includes a new contractual services effort to address the needs through a competitive process. 8, maintain funding for West Side Promise Coordinator position. The fiscal year 26 budget includes upgrading a vacant Neighborhood Services Specialist 3 to an Administrative Analyst 2 in the Housing and Neighborhood Services Bureau to coordinate the West Side Promise program. 9, funding to support Rancho Los Cerritos and Rancho Los Alamitos. As part of the mayor's as part of the mayor's recommendations, $50,000 in one-time funds was added to support partnership efforts. And then just to acknowledge the fact that in addition to the BOC recommendations, because we made so many changes to the original RDA table that was in the budget book, included with these BOC recommendations for everybody's review is an update that includes the modifications made by the mayor's recommendations, as well as those proposed here by the BOC. And then one additional motion I'd like to make, and this is related to number 28, related to the micro grant program. I'd like to make a modification to that recommendation to have it read. So the original one was the motion to add the one-time funding of $103,000 for the micro grant program and the general fund group. So keep all of that language, but I would like to then add to that number 28 for it to say, further, request the Community Development Department to partner with the Department of Health and Human Services to expand the program eligibility to include violence prevention organizations in addition to neighborhood associations so that the program better supports a broader range of community safety and activation efforts. And with that, those are the BOC recommendations. And I am open to any comments from my committee colleagues.
Just really quickly, you know, being new on the BOC, I was just concerned about are you addressing all the issues? Are we heard everyone out? And I have to tell you, I'm really pleased with where you and the mayor and everyone that landed. I felt like you guys did a really good job addressing all of the many needs, and there are many. But I feel like you did a good job, and then you also did a good job at addressing what we couldn't fund, and that was really important to me, just that everyone knows that they were heard. So, Chair, fantastic job, and I look forward to moving this forward.
Vice Mayor Aranga.
Thank you, Chair. Excellent job with the presentation. A lot of work went into this, obviously. I'm very happy that while everybody didn't get everything what they wanted, we did address all the issues. There was no idea there was a bad idea. They are on this list, if not for current funding, for future funding. And I think it's important for us to note that, because it is important for us to acknowledge that community input is important, and we heard you, and we are paying attention, and we're going to be keeping it in, maybe not in the forefront, but in the back burner. And it's there for us to consider for future recommendations. So I want to thank you, Chair Rex Odie, for your work on this, and with the mayor and with the city manager's office, the budget committee, to get this together today. Looking forward to tonight's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much to my, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, and just one more thing, Madam Chair. What item is, it's B8,
Which number are you talking, which one?
the fentanyl item.
Oh, it is.
B8, motion to request it, okay. So, so I think, what I was going to ask on this, I think, what we were doing to see if any settlement proceeds come in, then that could be funded. And so what I would kindly ask, if we could just earmark 70,000 for the fentanyl testing kits through that opiate funding, should anything come through.
Okay, so you want to, so the motion right now is to request the city manager to work with Health and Human Services to continue to prioritize funding available
Yes.
from the opioid settlement, proceeds to distribute. Okay, so you said you are asking to then earmark.
Just prioritize that, which I think that is what they're doing here, but it would be nice if we say if that funding, if that settlement does come through, then 70,000 would be used towards fentanyl kits.
Is there a reason for the 70,000? I just don't know.
That's what it costs. That's what the program cost. It's an insignificant amount, but I know, I assume the settlement's gonna be a lot more than that, but just wanna make sure that, we can earmark that for those kits.
Understood.
Should that settlement come through.
Question, do we know when the settlement will come in? I just want to, I don't want to commit funds that we may or may not know that we're going to get.
And if we don't get them, that's fine. I'm just asking if we do get it, that we prioritize that for the fentanyl kits, and there's a chance that we do get that settlement. That's what it says in the item.
Oh, so this is a question for budget. Do we have any idea on the background information on when we potentially would get that, the settlement proceeds? Oh, well, here they come.
We've actually received prior year settlements, so we'll just need to review the balance of where that's at. But we can note language in the motion to prioritize 70,000 if available from the opioid settlements.
Would that be
Prioritize-
acceptable?
That's fine. Prioritize or consider, just that's what that program would cost. So that's on the record. Okay, thank you.
Understood. I'd be comfortable with that. All right. Any additional comments from my colleagues? All right. Well, thank you so much for everyone's work and for recognizing that, like I said, myself, my staff, the city manager's office, the financial management, this is a team effort. We are really proud of these, and just know, as my council colleagues acknowledged, we really did want to make sure this year that everybody felt like, even if you didn't necessarily get everything that people asked for, we wanted to make sure that the process felt open, and that you all felt like we heard you when it came to the requests that came to BOC, and know that I promise you that we gave it the time, the attention, and consideration that it all deserves. And with that, I would like to move to public comment. So again, if there are any members of the public who wish to speak on this item, please stand and form a line so we can determine how many speakers who will be participating. Once this number is established, no additional public comment will be heard for this item. So come one, come all. And if staff can help me count. Oh, Yeah, please, if you like to speak on this particular item related to the Budget Oversight Committee recommendations, please do so. And then also note that we also do a general public comment at the end as well still. So I think we're over 10, so everyone will get 90 seconds. How many we got? All right, 13 it is. Please, Christopher.
All right. Good afternoon, Budget Oversight Committee members. My name is Christopher Covington. I am representing the Advancing Peace Steering Committee. I want to start by sharing my deep appreciations to the hard decisions that you all had to make in regards to meeting the needs of many for all of our residents in the city. I want to give appreciation specifically for the increase for safe passages so that we can potentially expand the services throughout the city, as well as the latest amendment for the community activations. Community activations is an actual tool to reduce violence, and by partnering with the Community Development Department, we'll be able to do that hand in hand with neighborhood associations. And so we look forward to that process. As we are thinking about the budget is pretty much cooked, and it's now about to get served to council, I do recommend or request that there be additional conversations to request the city manager to identify additional funds throughout the year to support activations. At the current allocation of 100,000 for the current program, with it being split, the amount of activations are going to decrease, and it's already decreasing with the federal funding being cut. So if that could be included in tonight's discussion, we would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I will be brief. Thank you.
Succinct. Love it. Next speaker.
Okay, good afternoon, Budget Oversight Committee. My name is Ariana Sagun. I am a resident of the 8th District and Community Health Justice Manager at Centro Cha, and I'm here today to express your gratitude, appreciation, and strong support for the inclusion of the $500,000 in the City of Long Beach FY26 budget to fund El Mercado de Long Beach. You know, I would also like to uplift the over 20 letters of support from our congressional leaders, State Senator Gonzalez, Assemblymember Lowenthal, city elected officials and representatives, our community partners and leaders. This is more than just a developmental project. El Mercado is a vision for inclusive economic growth, rooted in the heart of our Latino community. It'll be a vibrant hub for small business development and cultural spaces, all this managed by and for the people it represents. El Mercado will not only uplift Latino entrepreneurs, but it'll also preserve our Latino cultural identity, create opportunities for the next generation, and turn public spaces into a place of pride, gathering, and celebration. The Latino Cultural Center with El Mercado de Long Beach will be a safe space to foster resilient communities and generational well-being for the Latino community, especially as we're being currently attacked by our federal government. So we thank you for the support and investment in the future, and El Mercado de Long Beach is how we'll build equity, empower community, and honor the heritage of Latinos in the city of Long Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Cindy. I am the CVI Programs Manager at Centro Cha, and I'm also here speaking on behalf of the One Long Beach Collaborative. We appreciate the Mayor and the Budget Oversight Committee for including many investments in violence prevention and youth development in the proposed fiscal 26 budget. This is such a great start. However, we do ask if there's the opportunity to continue to prioritize the year-round activations for $600,000. And to give some context, Centro Cha was the lead agency that oversaw the Department of Justice grant in 2022 that was recently cut in April 2024. And through this collaborative, we've been able to build capacity in the CVI ecosystem throughout the city of Long Beach, building leadership, capacity building, and funding for our partners. In 2023 and 2024, $196,000 was distributed to support community violence intervention work and build capacity with multiple Long Beach organizations, and in 2024, an additional $300,000 was distributed through One Long Beach Economic Justice mini grants. So this $600,000 would support in those activations, and we're asking for city leaders to be champions in CVI to help the loss of the federal cuts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, I am Karen Reside. I'm the president of the Long Beach Gray Panthers, and I'm also one of Long Beach's representative to the area agency, well, the Aging and Disabilities Commission for LA County. I want to congratulate you on having such a thorough, deep process in a year that was fiscally very challenging for everyone. We are really proud to have involved in helping Measure A get over the line so that there is this new pot of money. And we made recommendations that our partners should receive part of the funding, and we were pleased to see that that happened. And we just want to remind you that by 2030, the older adults are going to outnumber the younger people in the community. So we don't want to be forgotten or ignored. So thank you for all your attention and work on this effort.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Muy buenas tardes. Saludos cordiales a ustedes. Mi nombre es Rebeca Ibáñez y soy madre de familia y pertenezco al Distrito 1 y estoy hoy aquí para apoyar la organización de Órale y estoy aquí para pedir los 2 millones de dólares hacia el Fondo de Justicia y 2 millones para pelear contra el desalojo y 250,000 para el fideicomiso que tiene de tierras comunitarias. Para mí es muy importante que este fondo apoye a víctimas que sufrieron violencia doméstica. Es una necesidad, especialmente con todas las redadas que están pasando. Por favor, escuchen nuestra petición y tómenlo como algo urgente, porque este fondo ayudaría a personas que han sido separadas y pues les pido de favor que escuche esta petición. Gracias.
Hello everybody, my name is Rebecca Ibanez. I am a mother and I belong to District 1, and I'm here to ask for $2.2 million for the Justice Fund, $2 million to fight against eviction, and $400,000 for the Community Land Trust. For me, it's very important that this fund support victims who have suffered domestic violence, for example. It's necessary, especially with all the raids that we're going through. Please listen to our petition and take it as something urgent, because this fund will help people who have been separated from their families. Thank you.
Gracias. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Silvia Torres y estoy también aquí para la organización de Órale. Concejales y comunidad presentes, mi nombre es Silvia y vengo a representar mi vecindario integrante del Distrito 1 para pedirles que nos respalden con una decisión vital para nuestras familias.
Hello, my name is Silvia. I'm here representing Órale. I am a vital neighbor in our District 1, and I'm here to ask for this council to make the vital decision to support families in the city of Long Beach.
Hoy discutimos la asignación de 2.2 millones de dólares. Estos fondos pueden significar la diferencia en que una madre se quede con sus hijos o que una familia quede separada por las deportaciones.
Today, I'm asking that you allocate $2.2 million of dollars to the Justice Fund, because that could mean the difference between a mother staying with her children or a family being separated by deportations.
Quienes estamos enfrentando al ICE no tienen derecho a un abogado asignado por el gobierno.
Those who are confronting and being taken by ICE, they don't have the right to a free legal representation assigned by the government.
Y muchos deben defenderse solos en un idioma que no dominan y en un sistema complejo.
They are forced to represent themselves in a language that isn't their forte and in a system that's very complex.
Asignar abogados a estas personas no es un gusto, es una inversión en justicia, dignidad y estabilidad comunitaria.
Assigning lawyers to these people isn't a frivolous cost. It is an investment in justice, dignity, and stability in our community of Long Beach.
Es una ciudad diversa y construida por inmigrantes. Protegerlos con representación legal fortalece la seguridad, la economía y la ciudad de toda la comunidad.
This is an investment for a city that is built by immigrants. Protecting their legal representation will help their security, the economy, and the unity of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias. Next speaker.
Hi, good afternoon. Would you be able to clarify real quick any adjustments that were made in this hearing, or the motions for adjustments to the Long Beach Justice Fund, the Eviction Defense Fund, or the Community Land Trust? I know I heard a couple of those in there. I know there's a lot of motions for change, which I think it's great that y'all are still making changes right up to now, but yeah, if I could get some clarification on that, that would be great.
If you want, the recommendations we made are actually public right now. So if you want, after this, we can show you where they are on the website. You actually can read through them.
Okay, that would be great. But yeah, just reaffirming my comment from last week. We need 2.2 million new money, not rollover money from last year. New money for the Long Beach Justice Fund. 2 million for the Eviction Defense Fund. 400,000 for the Community Land Trust. Again, we need new money. We don't need rollover from last year. We need this to be a consistent item in the budget that we can expect every year. If it's a budget shortfall issue, my suggestion would be to take that money from the severe surplus held by the Long Beach Police Department, which, in addition to a huge rise in use of force complaints over the past couple of years, have also done nothing to help our communities against ICE agents who are coming into our communities, breaking the law and kidnapping people, and in fact have been assisting ICE agents in their breaking of the law. That's not law enforcement. That's not public safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes, apreciados concejales. Mi nombre es Irma Ferreira, soy residente del Distrito 1 ya por casi 30 años. Y soy representante de Long Beach para una economía justa y también soy voluntaria con otras organizaciones. Yo les vengo a contar mi historia. Antes de la pandemia estuve a punto de ser desalojada y no fue por falta de pago de renta. Pude darme cuenta de que fue porque el dueño quería desalojarme para arreglar el apartamento y rentarlo a más alto precio, ya que yo tenía 10 años viviendo ahí. Busqué ayuda y por mi estatus no pude acceder a ella. Gracias a Dios y a las personas de Libre y Housing, de Housing LA, que invirtieron su tiempo y lo que ellos sabían, no me desalojaron. Les pido que por favor se apruebe 2 millones para el derecho a concejal, para que personas que están pasando por esto puedan ser representadas por un abogado y no tengan que pasar por esto solos. Y también 400,000 para vivienda asequible a bajo costo, ya que podemos ver que hay gente que no se puede independizar porque no pueden conseguir un lugar donde vivir. Les pido considerar todo esto porque así como yo sé que así como yo, sé que más familias han pasado por esto y me gustaría que ellas no lo pasen solos, sino con un acompañamiento legal. Gracias.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Irma Ferreira and I'm a resident of District 1 and I'm also part of the team of Long Beach for Just Economy and volunteer with other organizations and I have been living in Long Beach for 30 years. I'm here to tell my story. Right before the pandemic, I was about to be evicted from my house due to I'm not paying rent, supposedly. However, that was not the reason. It was because the landlord actually wanted to evict me and be able to upgrade the apartment so he can rent it for a higher price. I was already living there for 10 years. I was able to find help. I was looking for help, but due to my status, I couldn't gain it. So thankfully, people from Libre and then Housing LA were able to help me through the programs that they have, and I wasn't evicted. I'm asking for you to approve $2 million for right to counsel or eviction defense, so that people like me who are passing through tough times like this can be represented in court with a lawyer, and I have to do this alone. I'm also asking for $400,000 for the CLT, so we can have lower affordable housing, and so we can be able to live here in our community, and for people to be able to be independent and live on their own as well. I'm asking for you to consider this because I know I'm not the only one who has gone through this, and there's many more people out there who deserve to have this legal help. Thank you.
Gracias. Next speaker.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Edith, miembro de la comunidad y parte de la coalición de Long Beach para una economía justa y órale. Hoy hablo por la comunidad que ha estado luchando por justicia, por dignidad y por derecho a defensa legal. Estoy aquí para pedirles con el corazón en la mano que aprueben $2.2 millones para el Fondo de Justicia. Este Fondo de Justicia no solo es un programa, es un salvavidas para muchas familias que sin él podrían enfrentar la separación, el trauma y el sufrimiento de la separación. La decisión que tomen hoy puede cambiar la historia de muchas familias. Si lo aprueban, estarán eligiendo la compasión, la justicia y la protección de las comunidades vulnerables. Si no lo aprueban, también estarán tomando la decisión del sufrimiento a la separación y el silencio de quienes no tienen voz en esta sala. Por último, quiero señalar que quieren asignar $150,000 para negocios. Este dinero estaría mejor en el Fondo de Justicia, donde puede tener un impacto inmediato y real. Queremos los $2.2 millones estructurados para el Fondo de Justicia. Gracias.
Good afternoon. My name is Edith, the community member here and a member of Long Beach for Just Economy and Orale. Today I'm here for the community who has been fighting for justice, for dignity, and for the right to have access to legal defense. I'm here today with my heart on my sleeve to ask you to approve $2.2 million for the Justice Fund. This fund isn't just a program, it's a lifeline for many families that without it can experience family separation leading to trauma and suffering. The decision you take today can change history for lots of families. If you approve, you'll be leading with compassion, with justice, and with protection for vulnerable communities. If not approved, you'll be leading with suffering and separation and silencing those who do not have a voice in this room. Lastly, I want to highlight that there's $150,000 designated for businesses. That money will better be allocated towards the Justice Fund, where it can have a bigger impact that is immediate and real. We want the $2.2 million for the Justice Fund to be structural. Thank you.
Gracias. Next speaker.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity for us to discuss today. I came from the Community of Care Continuum meeting, which is just fantastic. And I see all of this as sort of this embodiment and intersectional event where the making sure people are housed, preventing homelessness, and that includes the $2.2 million for the Immigrant Justice Fund, so they have the money to stay housed, the $2 million for the tenant rights, right to counsel, so they have money to stay housed, and $400K for the Community Land Trust. And in doing so, that will prevent further harms to the injustices that are happening today. Also, as a result of what is happening today, we have chronic mental health challenges across the community, And having the community crisis response 24-hour hotline separate for the police is very important. So the Health and Human Services Department has the facts and the data to know how to allocate for future. Also, we wish to have a dedicated item in the general fund for the community crisis response. Additionally, $150K or more, which I'm so thrilled to hear you're already doing in the violence prevention and inclusion and the suggestions going forward. But I also hope to see the dream budget that shows all the asks somewhere so we don't forget, and we all know as funding comes in, it's like we can see the pipeline going, oh, yay, yay, it's getting funded, and we can celebrate together. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Erin. I am a 20-year resident of Long Beach and renter. And I wanted to thank you all for recognizing the importance of the right to counsel and again, including it in the budget. I'll make this brief, but I just wanted to reiterate the importance of that decision. Having legal support can literally make or break a case. It can literally make all the difference. Sorry, I'm saying literally so much. It can make all the difference in making the playing field more equitable. Evictions are on the rise and folks are scared and sometimes even intimidated into self-eviction because they don't know their legal rights. We are in fear of being displaced from our beloved city altogether, which is a big part of why so many of our neighbors came out and collected signatures and voted for Measure A. Community members are calling for $2 million in new money for the right to counsel, not rollover because the work is already being done right now. But even that isn't enough for everyone who needs it to get help. So please consider the full amount. We really need to codify this funding in our renter majority city and keep it structurally funded. And I'm also here to give support for $2.2 million for the Justice Fund and $400K for the Community Land Trust. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who came and did public comment. And with that, let's vote to recommend our Budget Oversight Committee recommendations.
Chair, if I could just add one more thing to the record, a grammatical change for
yes.
B40. It's the deadline for BOC members to submit recommendations for presentations. It just says May 15, 2025, which would be retroactive. So just recommending to remove 2025 altogether.
Accepted. Thank you.
Motion carries.
Lovely. All right. Almost there. And now we will do general public comment.
That is correct.
If there are any members of the public who wish to speak for general public comment, again, please stand and form a line so we can determine how many speakers will be participating. And once this number is established, no additional public comment will be heard for this item. Going once, going twice, just one? All right. Please come on down. The price is right.
I apologize. I was confused earlier, but so I talked a little bit from 1736 Family Crisis Center about our Elevated Minds program. So Elevated Minds is a school-based program for middle school and high school students in the city of Long Beach that supports and educates youth on mental health and substance use challenges, fostering positive coping skills while reducing harmful behaviors. The program serves low-income and homeless middle school and high school students in grades 6 through 12 and their families experiencing homelessness, mental health, substance use issues, domestic violence, sexual exploitation, gang activity, and other crises. At-risk youth face an array of dangerous situations, including substance use, gang involvement, human trafficking, all which can lead to physical and mental health deterioration. Program outcomes have continuously demonstrated positive results in terms of reducing disruptive and harmful behaviors in the youth in our program, while increasing their coping skills and communication skills, improving their sense of self-worth and self-esteem, and reaching developmental milestones that put them on a trajectory for future social, academic, and life successes. 97% of our youth engaging in services reported improving at least one resilience skills like coping skills, communication, and stress management. Students regularly ask teachers about our program and express excitement over our upcoming visits. The Long Beach Unified School District Youth Homelessness and Foster Kid programs report that more than 50% of youth receiving services have substance use issues related to cannabis, alcohol, and/or vaping. We request your consideration in extending funding for Elevated Minds through the current school year so we may continue to support some of the community's most vulnerable members. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I would just like to thank everyone, again, who I think many of you all came into public comment every week. And so I want to thank you for your engagement. Please know that, again, we take this very seriously. I know I do as a chair and as the committee and the city staff. The things that you all said to us clearly did not fall on deaf ears, right? We are continuing to improve as a city, and I just really want to thank you for your time and attention and just care that you bring and the perspective that you bring from the community around what you all see as the priorities, because that's what we need as a city. And so again, thank you. I'm sure I see a few of you at 5 o'clock. You know, go take a walk or something, go grab some pizza, and I'll see you back here in a few hours. But again, thank you.